What's going on? It's your boy SB. I know it feels like it's been a minute because it has, but I had to do this vlog today. This is a special vlog. I have just hit my 6 years anniversary with the company. You feel me? 6 years and 4 days to be exact. That is a crazy milestone, especially. I say this all the time. You feel me? 1 year is like 5 years with other companies when you're talking about Amazon years, but 6 years. Low key, I think this is the longest. I got to do a vlog on that. I got to check. I'm not 100% sure, but if this isn't the longest I've been with a company, it's probably like second place at this point. But it's likely that this might be the longest I've been with the company, which is 6 years. Shout out to Uncle Jeff. Shout out to my Amazonians out there. 6 years we up in here. That is a long time. When I look back, it went by way faster than what 6 years is. 6 years is a long time. Does it feel like it's been 6 years? Absolutely not. It feels like it's only been like 3 years. But time be flying when you work at Amazon. That's actually one of the things you got to watch out for. You can be so tuned in and so plugged in, time just flies by in the real world. But anyway, 6 years, 3 days. And shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me on the channel for what, the last 3 years? I think I've been on YouTube and kind of documenting my journey. I think it's been like 3 years. But everybody who's been supporting, you feel me, dropping encouragement, sharing videos and all that good stuff. Salute to y'all, man. Thank you for the support. 6 years. So whenever I do these yearly videos, I kind of like to go over certain things, growth, lessons, challenges, advice, all that good stuff. And then I love to start it off with how it started. So how I even started working at Amazon. Was this my dream? You know, kids, oh, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a PA. I want to be a process assistant at Amazon. No, sadly, that wasn't the case. But no, the way I ended up coming to Amazon was actually through a family member. They were, they were in management and they was like, listen, you would kill it over here. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, you should come over here. The way that you are, just your personality in general, being very, outgoing, communicating, already very engaging with people. He was like, yo, you bring that over here, you will kill it. So it was actually a referral from a family member. But I remember at first, it took probably like a year and a half, almost 2 years for me to fully go because my perception of the company, I only knew what the internet showed. And the internet was talking about they had to pee in bottles. You feel me? That's all I remember. And that's the only thing I had to go off of. So when he would tell me that, I was like, man, I ain't messing with no Amazon. You crazy. But it was when I used to do armed patrol at that time. A small business owner, you know what I mean? The owner of the company lived right down the street from my dad's house. And it got to the point to where I was like, you know what? I don't feel I'm fully appreciated here. I know I wasn't fully appreciated to what I was bringing to the table. But instead of me just catching a fit and quitting the job, that's when I was talking to a friend on the phone and his family member was just about to put an application in. And I said, I think I'm gonna do that too. And he was like, well, you gonna go to Amazon? I said, you know what? I think I am. And that's how I ended up joining the company. So it was through a referral from a close family member. And low key, that was a great move. Just due to the fact of how big the company was. When you're dealing with such a big company, growth can happen way faster than it can happen working in a smaller company. So that was one of the first things that I experienced was just that quickness and growth. And I came in at the bottom. I don't think you can come in any lower than what I came in at. I didn't come in full time. I came in as a seasonal. You know, I wasn't even a full-time employee. Came in seasonal, then after that, boom, inbound stow. That's why I always gotta, salute inbound stow. My heart's always there. Started off with inbound stow, then became pallet runner, VRC train, was doing VRC, was doing water spider, then went from water spider to ambassador, PG, so on and so forth, got to that PA position, then to my current position on the corporate side. And it's funny because it's like my perception versus reality. My perception of the company before I came was like, Yo, I don't know. You feel me? All I know is these viral videos talking about this is the worst place to work, boom, boom, boom. But that perception versus reality for me in my experience was totally different. I seen it as a land of opportunity. I remember my first time walking through them doors. It looked like Disneyland there, ginormous building. Shout out to LGB3. That was my first building where I started off at. It's like 1,000,000 square feet or something like that total. Crazy big lights, cameras, action. You feel me? Humans everywhere. I was like, yo, you feel me? This seems like the land of opportunity. So the reality, and then actually working there and moving up, and man, my experience. I'm not representing a company, not a spokesman, not a none of that. But my reality experience versus the perception was way different. Even to this day, I'm not even in a position that I truly enjoy right now, but I appreciate it. And still, I think it was a great choice. And the reality that I experienced was nothing like what was online, what it was talked about. That's even a vlog I'm gonna do. I think Amazon, I've worked at warehouses before, and out of all the warehouses I worked at, Amazon has been the best one. Challenging, yes. Stressful at times, it definitely can be. You feel me? Strenuous, it can be. But compared to other warehouses, you feel me? Cleanliness, safety, all those things, I can't even front. Reality was way different than what was perceived, and it was, you know what I mean, it was official. So with these 6 long years, quick long years, my progression and career growth, I started off as a tier 1 seasonal, which is entry level. So I went from that tier 1 to where I am currently at now, which is a level 4. So I went from the tier 1. All those positions I named earlier were all in the same tier, which is still tier 1 entry level, no pay raise. That's the I was a stower, from the stower to the water spider, pallet runner, VRC operator, even to the PG and ambassador. There's no tier difference in those different, all those roles are all the same tier entry level, meaning as well the same pay. I definitely think ambassadors should be, you feel me? It should be, I think, my opinion. I think it'll be dope if there was an incentive there, 50 cents. If you're an ambassador, increase at least 50 cents. I think that'll be dope. Is that what they do? No. But all those are the same tier. So I was a tier 1 until I hit my first promotion, which was the PA process assistant, which is that tier 3. And from there, I put in my resume to go in to a area manager. Then even before that, what was it? It was a learning coordinator, which was a L4 hourly, and then the corporate role. The corporate role, I only submitted my resume because it was an L4 and it was open. That's not where I wanted to go. It was the AM L4 and learning coordinator if the L4 area manager didn't go through. So I ended up going to the L4 on the corporate role. So that's like my career progression within these 6 years. My initial goal for my career progression was to get to that tier 1 to the L6, which is the operations manager. But it was right around year 2 where I was like, you know what I mean? Had some turbulence, and it caused me to just kind of go to the corporate side and, you know what I mean? And to stay there. Tier 4, still good because, it's still promotion to the corporate side. But that's what kind of stopped my desire to progress even more from my initial goal was at that 2-year mark. And to me, I'm still super proud of that because even though I'm still a tier 4, level 4, every year we have an evaluation. So where we get a base pay raise if you at least meet the bar or go exceed the bar. And then on top of your base pay, you also get RSUs. So each year I've been in corporate, I have had a raise and I've gotten more stock. So that's the good thing about it as well. So with all them different positions, different tiers, I've got to be in different departments. And 6 years with the company, still, hands down, my favorite department has to be inbound. That's a fact. I've been in inbound, been in outbound, worked with the doc, been on the corporate side, did code pricklies on the corporate side. That's like military, military packages and all that stuff. And my favorite department still has to be inbound. Favorite position still inbound PA. That's hands down. That was my favorite time that I had. I can't lie though. Outbound PA. I was a PA for AFE Pack. Super dope as well. But the thing that made that dope wasn't really the department and the process. It was the team. That was like the best team that I've had with this company. We just flowed. And when you have a great team, that makes all the difference in the workplace. So I got to experience that on the outbound AFE side, but just the process and the function, my favorite still is inbound. Inbound Stowe, I would go back tomorrow. You facts, not to Stowe, but I would go back to inbound PA to if we can negotiate the pay. If we can negotiate that, I would go back tomorrow. Out of the 6 years that I've been with the company, that's still my favorite department. So with these 6 years, how have I grown professionally? Has there been growth? Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you this. Listen, I haven't grown at the rate that I have with this company with any other company that I've worked with. And that's one of the things that Amazon does. It could be a pro or a con, but they'll throw you in the water and they won't give you a boat. Well, they'll give you like you feel me? They'll give you some floaties and then to give you the tools to make a boat. Like, here's all the tools. Here you go. You feel me? What are you going to do with it? You going to make a boat? You going to make a canoe? You going to make a raft? You going to make you know what I mean? And at first I thought it was crazy. I first learned this as an ambassador. I was like, all right, cool. I'm an ambassador now. Can I see the, the manual book for being an ambassador? Do I get one of those? They said, oh no, here's your laptop. We need you to do some coachings. All right, bet. What do? I don't know. Whatever you think needs to be done. What? So I literally had to blueprint myself. But what did that do? It caused innovation. I was innovating things and it was like, hey, our whole floor tack time has dropped 10% since you've been out here, the first week. And then, 20%. What is you doing? So it causes, you know what I mean? I can't lie. The growth in ownership of owning something here, we want you to do this. And I make the rules and I just go take ownership of that. Growth, tremendous growth in that. And here's another level and another area of growth that it helped me. This is not just in the workplace too, but it helped me in the workplace and it also helped me outside of the workplace. Leadership, facts. You feel me? Because when you get into that ambassador role, when you get into that PG role, when you get into that PA role, you are leading. And it's, depending on your team and how you work, but just leadership in general, the growth in that area that I've had in these 6 years is just job wise compared to any other job. There is no comparison. You feel me? Like every area, I ain't gonna lie, from skills, leadership, everything changes with this company, at least from my experience. You feel me? There's new to-do list. This is being rolled out. This is being rolled out. So that says talent in itself, being able to do this for this month, then all of a sudden do it a whole nother way. You're always changing with the company. That's a skill to be able to do that. It can cause some stress, you feel me? But it's a skill. So just overall, growth in general has been crazy within these 6 years. And here's what I encourage people. If you're with this company or any company, you want to get these skills. And because this is what I see opportunity in this area with a lot of people who kill it in the company. They have all these skills on the clock and then they clock out and sleep or just watch movies for the rest of their life and just work. Man, utilize the skills that you get in the workplace. Leadership, you feel me? Ownership, engagement, creativity, innovation. Use those things in your life. You know what I mean? I've done that with the things and talents that I've learned and all that, applying it in my life to expand my life as well. So within these 6 years, man, some of the highlights, some of my awards, some of my milestones, at least some of the ones I can remember. I ain't even gonna lie, I've had so many in each area. I even remember back when being a stower, I used to get what those things, doc positive, document positive documents, document positive, doc positive, whatever it's called. Doc positives where it goes on your record for being like, you know what I mean, being like one of the top performers or something like that. From getting those to I think though it really came into play once I started to get free reign on creativity in ambassador, PG, and PA. Some of those things that I created in those roles did major damage in a great way. As an ambassador, I took that role. It's not that I took that role. I was like, this is a very important role. But I seen gold there. I said, wait a second. I can change the mindset of this department because the first encounter people have here is with me. That's how I was thinking. I said, yo, I'm going to change this department by changing who comes in here, by changing their minds. That's how I was thinking. So imagine all the new people coming in is getting this type of content and engagement like my channel on this new place they're working. Bruh, every new team that came in, by the time they was done, bruh, they was ready to change the world. And they was doing it. And I had so many people that went on to be managers, went on to be leaders. Literally, the whole department, like, I don't mean, but it was what it was. You feel me? Like, it was some next level stuff. So that was super dope. And it was dope too because leadership seen that. And then the next thing I would probably say, which was a dope accomplishment that I remember, there's a lot of them, but the ones that I remember was when I was a PA in Outbound. That's when I was creating a project, or I had a project that I already had in Inbound. And it was to get, productivity, to help increase productivity. It was working. Every time I told my leadership, like, hey, I'm finna run the project. And on Inbound, you basically, as a PA, we had 4 PAs, and this was on the stow side. And we would have one PA, each PA would run 2 floors, north side, south side, you feel me, 1 and 2 north, 1 and 2 south, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 north, 3 and 4 south. Each PA had 2 floors. I loved it because it showed the difference. Everybody had different numbers. Everybody had their own floors, so you can see if somebody does something different. So every time I rolled that project out, major difference. I'm talking 40, 50% difference in productivity. They was like, yo, not they. Well, they, you know what I mean? They, other PAs was like, yo, what's going on? But my ops was like, hey, what's this project? You know what I mean? But right at that time is when I ended up going on an away team, had some family situations, which caused me to move to my building that I transferred to in Arizona, which was GYR1. And there's when I fully rolled out the project. And that was one of my, I think one of the dopest success that I had because it caused, I don't even know how high it went up, but to the point the senior was coming down was like, hey, we need everything on this project. Every link, everything that's being done because we just broke every record. You know what I mean? So that was super dope and definitely one of the highlights of the career. You know what I mean? But that comes from just that freedom of being able to innovate. And hey, if you see something that can be done, run with it. Like here's the thing. I've never been denied trying to innovate something. Like, no, we can't try that. It's like, honestly, they low-key get happy. Oh, you can help productivity? What you got? Well, here, warning. Make sure, if anything, though, just make sure if you do something, because that is how you move up. You feel me? You're doing projects, you're innovating, you're moving something, you're shaking something. Words of wisdom. If you're gonna roll something out, do it loud. You feel me? To where they know this is your project. Because the things with projects, especially successful ones, everybody's gonna eat off of it on your team, as it should be. But you want to make sure your stuff ain't getting jacked as it shouldn't be. Mine got jacked. You feel me? But through that even in that situation, that low key was a great growth process that I had to go through, even in that challenging moment. So those were some of the highlights that I had within these 6 years. But in those highlights came some of my greatest challenges in this company. That right there was my greatest challenge when my project got stolen and I didn't get no credit from it. You feel me? Like, no, straight stolen. That was my greatest challenge in this company. But guess what? I didn't let it make me bitter. It made me better. And to go through something like that and to grow through it, that in myself, I didn't know how I was going to get through that. You feel me? But I grew through it. And even in that greatest challenge at this company caused growth. So yeah, there's great things and you're going to have great wins with any company that you with. But there's always, you know what I mean? You're going to have your challenges. You might have some losses as well. Another one of them challenges, you feel me, is pressure. There's times where that pressure, it hit. You feel me? It hit. It was heavy. But even with that challenge, it caused me to grow. With the current role that I'm in, I don't like it. You feel me? I don't like it. It's bearable now. But look at my vlogs like a year ago. It was at that, I almost hit that point to where I said, I was getting ready to throw in a towel. Like, all right, I might have to leave this company because this is not it. But I stuck in there. You feel me? And that was another great challenge that I had in these 6 years. Very uncomfortable. I've never even experienced anxiety until I got into that position. But even through that, still kept going. I was hanging on. And then what did that do? And that great challenge caused greater growth. You know what I mean? So it's so dope. Even in the challenges, you feel me? It caused and helped my growth, not just as an employee, but as a person. So those are some of the highlights, some of the lows within these 6 years, you feel me, of this company. And with that, I would ask somebody, what keeps somebody at a job that long? What keeps you going? What motivates you to stay somewhere for 6 years? That's a long time. And one of the main things was financial. You feel me? Like, I should have pulled that up. I forgot. On your A to Z, no, not A to Z. There's some app or not app. There's some website that's an Amazon website. It shows you percentage wise how much your pay has increased since you started. I should have got that. That would have been fire. I totally forgot about that. Dang. Snaps. But that is definitely one of the reasons why I have still stuck it out with the company financially. You feel me? In the warehouse, which I was at previously, you can cap out in certain positions. Your tier one, there's a cap that you can hit. I think it's after 3 years. I don't remember. Drop it in the comment section if y'all remember. Well, of course y'all remember. If you know, drop it in the comment section. Tier 3, your cap, your pay starts off higher. Your cap is a little bit higher. On this L4, on the corporate side, ain't no cap. You know what I mean? So every year that I stay, I can get a raise, and not just get a raise, I can get stock. So that's one of those reasons is due to the pay. And then not just the pay, I am hourly. So this comes in handy all the time. I literally make an investment with my time to work overtime, and I'm getting a return on that investment the very next week. And this is one of those companies where, in my department at least, you feel me, overtime is abundant. It's abundant. And I'm doing so many projects outside of work. They all cost money. All of them need financing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm still here, because I'm investing so much on my overtime. I'm getting a return on it the next week. Boom, putting it into this project over here, putting it into this project over here. And I think that's one of the dopest things. And then the second thing is due to the economy. Amazon low-key made it through the last storm of the shutdown. Stormy times, stormy waters. Amazon made it through. In this new situation that we're in this economy, a lot of layoffs happening, a lot of businesses closing. And I just think that, you feel me? I could be wrong, but, so far in this storm, it's a ship that I feel comfortable in at the moment. You know what I mean? I've said it on our lives that we do every Thursday. Check it out if y'all don't be watching it. I think, you feel me, we should always be on the lookout, seeing what else is out there, just in case. But I think Amazon, for the moment, is a safe ship to be on in this storm that's going to get worse. That's one of those reasons that I stayed so long as well. And there was a whole lot more I was gonna get into in this video, but we already too long. But one of the things I will kind of touch on, I thought was a good little topic, but is Amazon a good company to pursue a long-term career, as a long-term career? That, I think that needs a vlog in itself, honestly. Drop it in the comment section if you think I should just do a vlog on that on itself, but I'll touch it a little bit. Since I've been here 6 years, that's not crazy long. There's a gang of people that's been with the company 10 years, 15 years. You know what I mean? There's been people with some years under their belt. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. In my experience, I'm not a representative of the company, not a spokesman, but I'm going to be honest. I think one of the things that people are going to have to look out for and be aware of if they are coming to Amazon as a long-term career is that stress meter, is that anxiety meter. And the reason why is, especially stress, I don't know what it does, but it does it. You feel me? I don't know what it does to your mind and your body, but it does it. Stress is not healthy. I don't know what it does. I'm sure if I looked it up, I can find it out. But I don't need to look it up because I felt it myself. You feel me? It's a real thing. Stress, you know what I mean? Especially as a long term, like me, myself, my personal experience, in my opinion, I would not want to be with this company long term. And I think this is a good company. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful for the company. It's a big network. I was able to shift states because they have an Amazon in every single state. The benefits with the company is through the roof. But, you feel me? That still doesn't change the fact of stress. But here's the question. Put it in the comment section. What job ain't stressful though? Okay, I'll take that. There's jobs that ain't stressful. But if you're planning for a long-term career, moving up, I don't think all companies is the same. But y'all drop y'all comments on that. What's your opinion on this company long-term? Actually, I don't know if we should do that. I think here it is. I think if you plan on pursuing, this company long term, draw your boundaries, which I don't even think you can do. You know what I mean? But to the best of your ability, try to draw boundaries on areas that you can't compromise. Like, family and friends. If your friend, you have a real important friend circle, you have a real important family circle, because what I do see happen is the job, and this is at every job. The job literally takes over a person's life. You know what I mean? So I just think that has to be guarded, and you know what I mean? We have to be aware of that because that can easily happen working at any company. You get so caught up with the job, you tend to forget about life, But drop it in the comment section. How long have you been at your job? If you at Amazon, drop it. Let me see how long you've been with the company. Even if you with another company, how long is too long to stay with a company, in your opinion? And I don't think there's a black or white answer for that because everybody's situation is different. But I definitely want to get some of y'all insight in the comment section. Might have to do a follow-up video to it. But this is 6 years for me. 6 long years. Fast, but long. I made it. You know what I mean? How long am I going to go? I don't know. Just 4 more years would be 10 years with a company. That's deep. That's deep. I don't know. I don't know. If I did, I would have to be back in the FC. I cannot see myself. And I see things. You feel me? I'm a visionary. I don't see that though. You feel me? 4 more years? You feel me? Like, I don't think that's healthy. But I'll leave it there. Anyway, listen, I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. What else you got to hit? Hit the notification bell. We go live every Thursday at 7 p.m., so be sure to tune in. Other than that, man, I hope y'all have a blessed one. It's your boy, SB. Let's go.
No days off. Ay, I'm talking no days off. No days off. Ay, I'm talking no days off. Ay, I'm talking no days off. I'm talking no days off. No, talking no days off. Ay, I'm talking no days off. Ay, yo, no days off.